everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and today we're going to walk through Winter Tales from Stamperia, and this is an 8.5 by 8.5 by 2.5 inch mini album. We've got 4 pocket pages inside. And I'm going to go over the cover kind of in detail because I only did part of the construction in the tutorial, and I'll share with you what I've added. So this was part of the tutorial, and so is this circle. I layered on this chipboard bird, another chipboard here, and then 2 pieces of chipboard on either side of the circle. This is fussy cut from one of the collection papers, and so is this. And then these 2 flowers are chipboards. This ribbon just happens to be from my stash, and it's silver, and I think it looks beautiful with this. Okay, so there's the cover, and there's another piece of chipboard too. Got the snowflakes here, and on the back I had added this as part of the tutorial that I fussy cut and layered this in, and this is another piece of fussy cut from the collection pack too. So I think that turned out really pretty. I'm loving this pattern. So that is the cover, and then inside I've added one of the cut-aparts, which is also matted with cardstock, and it's just there to kind of break up this whole page. I think it's beautiful. But then I still left plenty of space for a nice large photo here, and then even a smaller, maybe 3 by 3 here. Okay, page 1. This is just one of the cut-aparts, and it's the front and back of the same cut-apart. This is a card that I'm using to keep this closed, and then I just did some color blocking on the back side. I added this chipboard piece from the construction. It was not part of the construction. It's only adhered to half so that it'll work as a means to open your gatefold. I think that's pretty. This flap opens up. I've added this chipboard for detail. And then on the lower half, we've got a pocket flap, and inside the pocket, I've prepared this, and I did not put anything on the back, just on the front. And I'll go over what's left over in the back at the end of the video. This is a cut apart backed with some cardstock, and then this just opens down. I added these 2 elements as a tuck spot. And then we have a nice large photo mat. I'm going to try to add another strip on the flip side, but I'm really tight on paper. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough, and I'll go over that at the end as well. Okay, page 2. It's just a nice simple double flap. I added this cut apart that's cardstock backed. Very simple. We've got a gatefold here. I added these 2 cut aparts and these cut aparts, by the way, are all from the 8 by 8. There is some in the 12 by 12. I chose the 8 by 8 collection pack because it's kind of scaled down. This is a piece of chipboard that runs across the bottom, just to add an extra element. We've got another large photo mat insert. This is page 4 and 5. And this is a nice big large layout here. And then it opens again, and then we've got a pocket here, and I've taken the cut aparts and did front and back, so these you can either add a photo here or you can use these as spots to journal. And then this is just a smaller version. So these are from the 12 by 12 and this is from the 8 by 8. Okay, and then we'll go to the other side. Same thing. Inside I've got these 2 matted and backed cut aparts. They're perfect for journaling cards or photos, and then it's a small version. Another large photo mat. Okay, page 6. Simple page. I've added these 2 cut aparts, again from the 8 by 8, and they're cardstock backed. Piece of chipboard across the bottom. A double flap. Pretty cute, pretty cute. Another large photo mat. And then here we are on page 8. So we've got a cardstock backed cut apart. This is a card that I cut specifically to fit into the pocket to hold it closed. And then added some cardstock. I did the same thing. I added a piece of chipboard. It's only adhered to one side, so the gatefold works. This lifts up. And then we have another pocket here. Perfect place for some photos. This also, you can mount some photos here, be pretty. This is one of the cut-aparts that I put cardstock on. That needs to go down just a little bit. There we go. And then I've added a piece of chipboard down here on the bottom. And this is a nice large spread for photos. I've created a tuck spot here. And then lastly, I've added this cut apart with some cardstock on it for the back panel. So I'm really happy with the way this album turned out. It's very, very pretty and very elegant. I'm actually kind of falling in love with the cover. When I first started, I was really bummed that the albums that have already been created had featured some of the elements that I would have preferred. But in the end, I'm really pleased with the way this looks. I think it's very elegant. I think you guys are going to love this collection. If you haven't purchased it already, come on over to Scrap and Create. It took 2 12x12s and 2 8x8 packs to create this album. And I'm going to show you real quick what's left. So, I have 2 8x8 intact sheets. And I have the cut-aparts for the 12x12, which are the cover on the flip side. So I have both of these cut-aparts because I used the 8x8 instead of the 12x12. And then I have this single intact 12x12 sheet. In addition to that, I have some scraps. And it's not a lot. This is the largest scrap I have. Everything else is right here. And I think this might be, yeah, the widest scrap I have in this pile is 4 inches wide. And as you can see, a whole bunch of these are 1 or 2 inches strips. Still useful for cards, but you are going to use 2 full packs of the 8x8 and nearly 2 full packs of the 12x12 to complete this. And that is it. And I'm probably going to take this and cut strips off the back to add a strip on the flip side of these inserts. So even this will get cut into in a few minutes. I just am kind of in a hurry to get this album out for you guys because the graphic has arrived and I've got to move on to my next project. So there it is again. Once Upon a Time, Winter Tales, Stamperia. This is Daphne from Scrap and Create. Thanks for sharing some time with us. All the tutorials for this are available now. If you're not familiar with our channel, we set everything up in a playlist. The playlist for this project will be Winter Tales. And if you go to Winter Tales, the first video will be a walkthrough. The second will be the base album build, while the following tutorials will add the flaps, pockets, and designer paper to complete this album. So thanks for coming along on the ride, and we'll see you soon.